Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna finish up this orange banana wine and the orange wine and show you how to turn this orange wine into creamsicle wine. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this video, and let's get right into it. Look at this. It's the orange wine that we're going to turn into creamsicle, and then we got the orange banana wine. It's time to get this racked and add some bentonite for some filtering. Let's get started. It's such a beautiful day. I had to come out here to rack this wine, but what you can see here is we're going to start with this orange wine. We're going to rack it down to our secondary, which is below here. Now I'm running out of carboy, so I got to put this into a 5-gallon carboy, and then I'll do the other one and we'll rack that one over to this one. Once I clean it, you'll see what I mean. It's a little confusing. Very clear. You can see there's not much sediment on the bottom either, which is really nice. So I'm going to just go right to bentonite on this. I feel very confident that we're ready. So here you can see what I meant here. I had to take that 3-gallon, put it in a 5-gallon carboy because I'm getting a little low. So now I'm going to wash the other carboy, put my bentonite in, and rack over the orange banana. And then we'll take what's in here and put it in the other one that the orange banana was in. Hopefully I'm not confusing. Again, it's just because I'm out of carboys. All right, let's get some things sanitized. I got the Star Sand measured out here. We got a 1/2 ounce, and we're going to get our equipment in here and add 2.5 gallons of water. All right, we're ready to use our bentonite. And you can see the recipe here. It says use 2 teaspoons for a 1/2 cup of warm water. So, and you can see it makes 5 gallons. Remember, we got 6 gallons of wine, so I'm going to increase this a little bit. I'm going to use 2.5 teaspoons of bentonite and 3/4 cup of warm water. So let's get that mixed. We will make our slurry. Now this is a 1/2 teaspoon, so that's why I put 5 of these in here. So then we're just going to mix this up, and the slurry is, again, it's milkshake consistency. That's what we're looking for. And because we got the 2 3-gallon carboys, I'm only going to put 1/2 of this in one and then the other 1/2 in the other. So you can see we got our slurry mixture here. I'm going to pour in 1/2 of this to the carboy and then rack that orange banana into this. This is what's going to filter your wine and refine it. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Technically 3/8 of a cup would be 1/2 of this. So you can see the orange banana has a lot more sediment because that's the one I did last when I was getting this into the secondary. So we're going to stay far away from that. I got my bentonite added to my other 3-gallon. All right, now we're ready just to put this orange wine back into the bentonite, which I've got added to the other carboy down below. So remember, we already racked it. I'm really just putting it in there to mix it in with the bentonite, and we will let that sit for 30 days. Now we'll stir this bentonite every day for about the next 3 to 4 days just to get everything suspended. That's what we want to do, charge these particles that it will filter this wine. All right, so what do you think of this? We got the orange wine here. We got a little bentonite in it. Remember, we're going to be stirring this, but this is a little bit lower than I would like. I'd like to get it up to about here. So I got some extra banana wine I'm going to add to the orange banana. I got my sterilized funnel. We're going to try not to stir this up too much. I think that's pretty good. And I got a little bit here to taste of this banana. It's the dry wine, which I usually don't like, but I will try this. See, I'll just put it all in. All right, I got the stir stick here. We're going to give it a sanitize. We'll let it on there for a minute. 1 minute later. All right, let's get the stick in here and get this bentonite stirred. You can see all the bentonite down here. This is what we want to charge up and get that bentonite to do our refining for us. And like I said, we'll do this the next 3 to 4 days. And a lot of people were asking, do I degas my wine? The answer is no, you don't have to. This is doing it some for us. Stir it for a minute or so just to get everything suspended. Get the airlock back in there, and let's do the orange wine. Now you can see a lot of the bentonite floating in there, but trust me, after 3-4 days of stirring, it will be no more clumps in this, if you have any. So after I get this stirred, I'll put it back in the basement and just stir it for the next 3 or 4 days, and then we'll be able to bottle this in about 30 days. Here it is. You can see the bentonite on the bottom. It is time to get this racked and bottled. Now you remember, we added this bentonite 30 days ago, so it's been sitting in these 2 carboys for 30 days. You can see, I'll hopefully get a close-up of this, but it's clear. You can see my hands through it. That's what we want. We want clear wine, the bentonite filtered all for us, no mess. And let's get this racked. And I can't wait to try this when it's sweetened a little bit. All right, let's get our sweetener going. So we need sugar, number 1 ingredient, and we're gonna mix this with water and get it on the stove. All right, to back sweeten this wine, we're gonna need about a cup of sugar and a cup of water per gallon. So remember, I got 6 gallons here, so I'm gonna measure out 6 cups of sugar and get them on the stove and get them ready to cook. All right, so let's get our 6 cups of sugar. There's 4, and here's an extra 2. Now you might not use all this. All right, so here's the water. There's 4 cups, and I got another 2. All right, now we're just gonna turn this heat on, and all we're trying to do is to get this dissolved. So we'll keep stirring this until it is completely clear. This is what we will add to sweeten our orange wine. Orange banana and creamsicle. All right, you can see here, it is turned crystal clear. That's what we want. This is ready to turn the heat off and let it get to room temperature before we start sweetening this wine up. All right, and a couple things you're gonna need to finish off this wine. Number 1, potassium sorbate, stabilizer, which is gonna make sure you don't blow corks. Camden tablets to help with bacteria management. And you gotta sanitize your equipment, StarSan. Make sure you're watching my sanitation video. And you're definitely gonna need some bottles. And you gotta have some corks. All right, we wanna get our corks sanitized because number 1, it's gonna make them easier to go into our bottles, but you're gonna sanitize them as well. So we'll just let these soak in there and let them get sanitized. Look at all these bottles. We got to get all these sanitized. Remember, you're going to need about 4 to 5 bottles per gallon. All right, so let's get some of our chemicals into our bucket. This is what we're going to rack our wine into. So the first thing we need is Camden tablets. So 1 per gallon. I'm starting with this orange banana wine, and we're going to put 3 crushed Camden tablets in here. All right, then we're gonna add our stabilizer. You need a half a teaspoon per gallon, so we're gonna need 3 of these half teaspoons. Stabilizer is critical because if you're back sweetening your wine, this will make sure that the yeast doesn't start up, building up oxygen or carbon dioxide and blowing corks. This stabilizer, potassium sorbate, is very important in this step. Don't miss it. All right, we're ready to get this rack down into here where we just added our chemicals in. So we got our sanitized racking cane here. Now we're gonna get this in here and we're gonna get our siphon going, and we wanna stay away from that bentonite. That is key to here, this step. So let's get the siphon going. You can see it's going. So now it's going. You can see the racking cane. We don't want any of that bentonite. So wastefulness at this stage is fine because you don't want to get any of that into your bottles. And I will slowly move this down, and then might tilt it just a little bit, but I don't want, if I see that bentonite sliding, I'll stop and that'll be it. So you can see I had a little bit of bentonite or a little more wine in there. I could have probably got out, but do you see how fast it gets mixed up? It's not worth the risk. Don't take it. So now remember, I got the stabilizer in here and the Camden tablets, and you just want to stir them in ever so gently. Trying to keep oxygen out of here. That's what we're trying to do. But you want to mix it in a little bit. We are close to getting ready to bottle this, but what I want to tell you, this is a good tip for you. If you want a dry wine, this is going to be very dry if you follow this recipe, but I'm not a dry wine person, but I like to do 1 or 2 bottles because they are great for topping off your other batches. Say you did a pineapple wine, you could top it off with this orange banana wine. And the dry wine's going to work best because if you add the sweeter wine, it could start fermentation up. So that's why I like to do some dry wines. I'm going to do 2 bottles and then we'll get to sweetening this. Look, there's our 2 dry wines. Now let's back sweeten. All right, so this is the fun part of this hobby. You get to make this wine as sweet, dry, semi-sweet as you want. You know we like semi-sweet by this time, so I'm gonna add our simple syrup to here. We're gonna taste it. I'm on my own today. My wife has to work, so she's gonna get what I make. And remember, everything I'm using has been sanitized. So let's get some of this simple syrup here, and then we'll give it a try, a little at a time. You don't wanna go too much too fast. My sanitized straw and glass. Still need a little more for sure. Let's give this a try. That's pretty good, but I'm just gonna add a little bit more. And let me tell you, it tastes and smells amazing. That's pretty close. I don't think I'm gonna make it any sweeter. Maybe a little bit more, but you know what? It's time to get this bottle, this semi-sweet orange banana wine. All right, look at all these bottles we just sanitized. I tell you, I love this rack. It's in the description too. It holds, I think, 36 bottles. I got 30 on here right now, but let's get to the next step. All right, it's time to get these bottled, the semi-sweet wine. Now you remember, you can see some sanitizer here. That's okay. That's what you want because you want to use sanitizer in the wet form. It'll force some of the foam out, which is fine, but let's get these bottles done and then corked. I will tell you, as I'm bottling this, I really can smell the banana coming out. I didn't catch that earlier, but now I'm smelling it. And that's it. I did 2 dry and I got 12 out of this. I don't think I have enough for another bottle, so I'll just add that to the other wine. All right, it is time to get some of these corked up. And remember, I got these corks sanitized. And this corker makes things so much easier. Look at this. this wine, the orange banana. We got our 2 dry, and then we got 12 semi-sweet. All right, you just saw us finish up that orange banana wine. We racked it, we sweetened it, and we bottled it. Now let's tackle the orange. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of this. I'm going to fast forward it, you can see in this part of the video. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to rack it. I'm going to back sweeten it. I'm going to add my chemicals, my Camden tablets and stabilizer. Then I'm going to bottle about half of it. And then what I'm going to do, the other half, I want to show you how we use extracts. So remember, we said we're making orange creamsicle. So we're going to add fresh vanilla that I made homemade. Check out that video. I'll put a link in the description. But let's see if we can get this little vanilla flavor into this orange wine. All right, there it is. The orange wine, just plain orange wine. I got 7 bottles out of there. So now I'm going to add the vanilla. And let's see if we can get some vanilla flavoring to this. There's the vanilla from 2020. It's almost 2 years old. All right, so we got our extract. In this case, I'm using vanilla. But if you wanted to add banana extract, pineapple extract, this is the time to do it right before bottling. We got the stabilizer in there. It's not going to kick off fermentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this. And you want to do this gradually because this vanilla is going to be strong and most extracts are. So I'm just going to fill a sanitized shot glass here. Like that. And I'm just going to add a little at a time and taste it. So I'm probably just going to start with about half of this. And let's see what we're trying to do. You're not turning this into vanilla, like vanilla Coke or anything like that. We just want to get that aftertaste of vanilla when you taste this. So that's what I'm shooting for. I'm getting a little hint of that already after a half a shot glass. I think I'm just going to add a little more because I really want to taste the vanilla. Just put it all. That's 1 shot glass of vanilla in here. And I think it's going to be perfect after that initial one. You can taste it or smell it. Yeah, I think that's perfect. You really can taste the hint of the vanilla at the very end. And that's what I'm going for. This is now orange creamsicle wine. Let's get it bottled up and we'll do a finale or whatever. Let's get it done. Oh man. Now I'm really getting the vanilla. I think it's in here. So look at all this. 6 gallons of wine. I got 30 bottles of wine. This is the orange creamsicle that's got vanilla. This is the plain orange banana, and 2 orange banana dry over here. 30 bottles. This was an exciting video. I hope I got to show you a little bit how to use extracts to make this orange creamsicle, but it's a fun hobby. Try different things. You saw where we added the banana in this orange. That's gonna be great. So another thing I want to do before I get all these put away is I want to sanitize the outside of the bottles, which again, squirt bottle comes in handy. Because you saw when I was filling it, some of the wine came down, and I can tell you they're very sticky and tacky. You don't want that. Make sure they're clean before you put them away. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna label these. I do it the lazy way. I showed you the paper tags in my how-to basics, but I'm just gonna mark the top of these. And then what I like to do is I have a container that I will lay these all flat for about a week or so, just to make sure none of the corks are gonna blow. At least if they do, they're contained in a container. Just try different things. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to all these videos. I got so much more. I'm getting ready to shoot another one and I'm exhausted. But I gotta get that started because it's gonna be one that a lot of you have asked for.